So in the video that we just had, I told you about the difference in the German system versus the American system, where they take out all of these deductions automatically. You have to give them no matter what. Whereas in America, you do have that option to opt out of everything. And even in some states, you can even opt out of Social Security. I think that's Texas. So what happens when you come to the situation where, now you're going to need health insurance? The problem with ideas of most Americans is that they feel like, why should I pay for something if I don't need it? I will only pay for it when I do need it. If I'm hungry, then I will pay for food. But I'm not gonna pay for food that I don't need. The biggest problem that I noticed is that most people choose not to have health insurance. And that's okay until you get sick. And here's the thing that Germans will probably never understand. There's a term called pre-existing conditions. Pre-existing conditions. So what is that? What happens is that if you're one of those people that opt out of insurance, either for yourself or for your family, and a lot of times people opt out for their families, is that once you get sick and then you try to get insurance after you've been diagnosed with something, a lot of times the insurance companies would not cover that sickness because you were diagnosed with it before or previously before you had insurance. So now it's considered a pre-existing condition. And that's when Americans start to get upset, like, now I gotta pay for this, now I gotta pay for that. But why aren't you covering it? Why aren't you covering it? It's because you didn't have insurance beforehand. Now, when you're an adult and you make the decision on yourself, that's your own situation. But if you choose or opt out of insurance for your entire family, and now your child finds out that maybe he has diabetes or high blood pressure, which is very common in my community, or worst case scenario, now they have cancer. No one wish that on anybody. And you have opted out of insurance, and now you're taking your kids to the hospital, to the doctor, and now the bills are coming. And you run to the insurance company now and say, I want insurance. More than like the insurance company is going to appear like the bad guy and be like, yes, you can have insurance, but I'm not going to cover this pre-existing condition. And that's when people get upset with the insurance company. Now, I'm not a fan of insurance companies. I'm not. I sometimes, at least the ones in America, I think they just ripping everybody off. They rip off the government and then they rip off the people. Um, but at the same time, that is one of the factors that really hurts the American people is that once they have that pre-existing condition and the insurance doesn't cover it, it's kind of screwed. Now in Germany, we don't have that. Why? Is because I think in Germany, there's three things you know it's gonna happen. Once you are alive in Germany, there's three things you know you're gonna do. One, you're gonna die eventually. Two, you're gonna pay taxes. And three, you're going to have insurance. That's a guarantee. I think there's no way around it. You're gonna have insurance. So that idea of a pre-existing condition doesn't even exist. And so that is one of the benefits of having that stuff already taken out, have it being forced down your throat, is that when these what if situations happen, you're covered. Not like in America. And so this is part two of my video. Um, part three is gonna be about